This conference
What
will
is
now be
Anchorage doing
recorded.
again?
Anchorage next, well, they've applied for looking on the next,
This conference will now be recorded. This conference will now be recorded.
Time is now 6 o'clock, and I will call to order the Tilton Planning Board meeting for Tuesday, September 13th, 2022. And start the meeting by introducing all of us. I'm Jane Alden, I'm the chair,
Frederick Senna, Vice Chair.
Tom Damon.
and it's Leanne Moynihan, which I think most of you have probably dealt with. And our first order of business is a conceptual review of 918 Laconia Road, and that's Mr. Miller. And I thank him for coming in because basically this is a residence and not really, he usually wouldn't be coming before the planning board, but because he's so close to the lake and is doing some work on a residence, I believe he's tearing it down. We wanted to make sure that the shoreline is protected and all the proper procedures have been gone through. So I appreciate you coming in, Mr. Miller.
Yes.
so
Okay.
you can come up here and talk into the mic, Mr. Miller, for the record.
Okay, sure.
You have something to hand out to them?
And I have the before, I just have 2 copies of,
That's okay, we can share it here.
I might have a couple.
yeah, so the before, these should be bigger, of the before and after. So
Okay.
Before and then after.
So you guys can show this one. And then I guess these are
And
the
then
architectural
those are just
renderings.
yes.
of what he's proposing.
Okay, would you like to tell us a little bit about the project?
So what we've got, there's a small cottage on the south end of the property that is in need of work, and it's tough to draw a line as far as where to end or where to begin. So it looked like it made most sense to just tear it down and to start fresh. That way it would get rid of all the odd lines. It's an odd shape, odd windows, odd ceiling, odd roof. And because everything's so small, the new plans show for 24 by 24, which is a relatively small place. It just made sense to go with the square configuration, fitting everything in, as best as could be. And as far as the construction phase of it, we have a gentleman that's been building around the lake for like the last 50 years, I think. He's got a lot of experience. And what the state was looking for was silt fencing on either side and then hay down at the bottom edge. And that looked like it would contain. And it's not really the digging that would take place doesn't even really go down. It kind of goes in because it's quite a steep hill that is going on. And so the digging would actually go in rather than down. And it's already at, close to the level that it would finish off at. But like I said, it would be more digging in opposed to digging down. And that's really the gist of it is, the idea is keep it small and simple.
And you've worked with DES and with the shoreline protection?
He has
Yes,
a
And-
permit here.
Okay, and you have
Yeah.
your permits and all?
yes,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, I just got a couple of questions.
Mhm.
So you propose on raising this building and replacing it with a 24 by 24?
Correct.
Okay. Are you going to change the grade level at all of the building?
Well, it may vary slightly, but
No, I mean, anything like 6 feet, 5 feet? or anything?
no, it's basically gonna be like a walkout basement, which is that's the height.
But
that
at the
base
street
is.
level,
Street level all
it's going to be the
remains.
same?
Correct,
Okay.
correct.
So you're removing a building that's actually bigger than the one you're proposing?
By a little bit.
But slightly, it's like odd shape.
Yeah.
So we're gonna cut it down to just a slightly smaller square shape.
Yeah, but you're going to go up.
And put a loft, a
Yeah,
loft
okay.
overhead. Yeah, so
And
there'll be a
the
couple hundred
walkout
feet.
basement will be down is this on the water here?
It's across the street.
Oh, it's across the street.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Now I know where it is.
By Jay's Marine.
Now I know where it is. Okay, thank you.
Sure.
And it's gonna look a lot better.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
I have everything here.
Are you gonna use the existing well or,
Yes,
okay, and the existing septic system?
there's a town.
Oh, you're on
sewer.
town
Yeah.
sewer, okay.
Yes, that makes that nice.
That's right, you're out. One. Goes out that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, again, thank you very much for coming in.
Oh, it was a pleasure.
All right, and I know it didn't take long, but we really did want to have those questions
Yeah,
answered.
thank you.
because
Yeah, I'm happy
We're
to,
very protective of our waterfront.
absolutely. Happy to clear up anything, so.
All right, thank you, Mr. Muller.
All right, why, thank you.
All right.
You have a good night.
All right, you
Yeah.
too.
All right, next is the boundary line adjustment, 77 Winter Street. Oh, okay. Okay, we're gonna make a motion to bring the application to floor for discussion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We'll be with you in a minute.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, we got a piece of it. Here's the full, if you want to see a big. Oh, you've got it up there as well. So they only have a piece like a copy, but here's the full plan. And he'll tell you, this is something you've already seen once.
Yeah,
so you're
And
gonna-
they're adjusting
Yeah.
it again, so.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, dear.
Yep, that's the right one, only the jig jack. This one just shoot down.
Any comments or questions? That look complete to you?
So,
I'll make a motion to accept the application.
I'll second.
All in favor?
aye.
Aye.
All right. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Tim Bernier, TF Bernier Incorporated. We prepared the plans for the applicant. Both properties are owned by SMB Properties. They had asked us to work with them on getting a house on the site. These lots may look familiar to you. They were subdivided last year in 2021. And the buyers really wanted to have a garage, and we just couldn't fit a house in a garage that made sense the way it was. So we adjusted the lot line just enough to accommodate the garage, just widened the lot a little bit to accommodate that. So that's the purpose of the lot line adjustment, is get a house with a garage in there. So essentially we're just moving this lot line. You can kind of see here. This is the existing lot line, just went straight back. And what it did was we either had to build way out here by the road, but even that was extremely narrow. So we created an area in here, which is just much nicer to be out there too. It's higher up on the hill. And it can accommodate everything that the buyers were looking for. So really, there's a little bit bigger land change, most of the land that got swapped as wetlands. Really the lot that was a little bit smaller, 19-1, one that had less uplands, ended up with more uplands. And the lot that was all uplands ended up a little bit less, but ended up with a lot more wetlands. So it was just the way the lot lines worked out the best. So relatively simple. No changes in frontage. Everything, the lots become more conforming, both of them, not less. So it's pretty straightforward. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Anybody have a question?
Yeah, just one thing, explain to me where the driveway's gonna be placed.
Sure. So, yeah, this driveway is gonna go, there's an existing driveway that went to the house.
Right.
Over here, that's where the driveway, we're proposing the driveway to go for the new house.
So is it gonna be a shared driveway between the two parties?
This driveway is existing here too. So there was two driveways. This is a barn and it's a walkout.
Right.
So this went to the walkout on this barn. That's gonna be eliminated. And then this is the driveway to the house. There's also an easement back here for access.
And that's when you came before us before, I believe, for that reason.
Yeah, that was existing at that time.
Yeah.
As well. This makes access to the backyard a little bit. I'm not really sure why. It's historical. It's been there a long time. That right to pass and repass here.
Yeah.
Been there, but so this lot,
Okay.
this driveway will be here where it is
Okay.
now to this house.
Yeah.
And this connection will be eliminated and this will be used for.
Okay.
Any other questions? Any questions from the public?
This has nothing to do with my property lines or anything.
Can you come up to speak if you have a question? You have to come up to the mic, give your name.
I can't see the board, so I don't
Oh,
know exactly
sorry.
what you guys are talking about. Just wanna make sure it's not affected.
What's your
They
name?
can't touch your property lines.
Yeah.
With your property lines,
Okay.
without your,
Sure.
What's the name?
Jonathan myself. I'm on Mountain View Drive. I'm abutting his, or their property.
So this is Winter Street here.
No,
what's your address? I can look it up.
you're Mountain View.
Yeah,
though,
he's
that's-
way up by the veterans home. Mountain
Is
View
that the
Drive is
next
up by the veterans.
application? There's two Winter Street
Yeah, yeah,
applications.
that's-
Oh.
It's the other one.
There's a
Okay.
158 Winter Drive, which is
Sorry.
further up. Yeah, it's okay. It's a very similar application.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's very similar.
Pretty rarely, you know.
it was a
Two
strange
on Winter
situation
Street.
though.
No, no problem, no problem.
I know we have two Winter Drives.
Okay, then I'll make a motion to,
Hi, excuse me. Hi,
Good.
my name's Brianna Garcia and I'm at 95 Winter Street. And I was just wondering if we could also see the board.
How do I turn it so that people can see it?
I guess just turn it like, so that it's facing. I don't think I'd be able to see it.
I don't know whether you can see it, it's
Just-
probably
If
not
you would
dark
like to
enough.
see the plan, it's actually on the tiltonnh.org website under the
Okay.
planning files.
Okay, I was just wondering, is it going to affect anything on our property lines? And I also know you mentioned something about the easement for the right-of-way access, and I was just wondering if the 77 Winter Street property is going to have access to that easement.
Ms. Frank, you want to answer that? Do you want me to answer that?
There is a deeded right to pass and repass 477 Winter Street. So whether or not they use it, I can't speak to, but they do have it's in their deed.
Yes, no, I understand that. I just was wondering with if with the construction or anything, is that going to be accessed?
Yeah, so the proposal, the reason why we moved the lot line is for lot 19-1, which isn't for building the house on 19-1, which is the lot that doesn't have a house on it now. We just fattened that up a little bit so that we could put a garage on the house. So it's not, we're not proposing any changes to lot 19, which is the 77 Winter Street house. Does that help?
Okay. Yep, thank you.
Mhm. Any other comments from the public? I'll close with the public and come back to the planning board, and we have a motion to accept it.
I'll second it.
All in favor
To approve.
to approve it? Yeah.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
We're gonna need a final draft for signature and we're.
Yeah, we'll drop my lot.
You want this back? We don't.
Yeah.
Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What?
I'm coming over. All right, our next case is another boundary line adjustment. This is for 158 and 160 Winter Street. Map R2658 and R2658.2. Medium residential. It's a lot line adjustment resulting in a transfer of 0.24 acres from map R26 lot 58 to map R26 lot 58-2 with no new lots to be created.
Exactly.
Huh?
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Oh, okay. Let's see.
Hi, Bob.
How you doing?
Good.
I know it's all home week with Mom. All right. Let's see, we have an application. So if you'll give us a minute to review your application.
Okay.
My eye's getting worse, or is this print very small?
It's
Very small.
It's small. It's small. Okay.
Okay. Looks fairly complete to me.
I agree.
You want to make a motion?
I make a motion to, is it to accept it or to bring it to the board? I make a motion to bring the application to the board.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right, Robert.
All done?
No, you want to tell us what you're doing?
Oh. I had, here a couple of years ago, I had given an acre of land to my son-in-law and daughter to build a house. And after second thought, where my property line, where they built their house, was relatively close to the property line of the 1 acre they had built on the upper end of it. I mean, we were within the 20-foot offset, but I just figured that I would give them more. I should have done this before I give them the lot. I should have taken my acre for my house and given them the rest of the land. But I didn't, we had talked about an acre to build a house on, and so where the house is so much closer to mine, or to the property line, I just figured if I ever sell my house, that there would never be any problem with the abutter.
Yeah.
And so we decided to give them, I'd keep the acre and then give them I forget what it
Well, not
is,
very good. Yeah, it's
two-
just,
2.35 or something like that.
yeah, it's just flipping.
Yeah.
Any questions?
Straightforward.
You know where it is, it's like right across from the VA.
Yeah, you know exactly where it is.
Okay.
I know what Bobby is.
All right, I'll open it to the public. Any comments? You had a question, I believe? Okay. Any other questions or comments from the public? I'll close it to the public and come back to the planning board. And I'd like to make a motion to accept the lot line adjustment.
I second that.
All in favor?
Hi.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, Bob.
Thank
Now
you.
you can go. That's it.
Now I can go?
And
No.
then your surveyor will submit a Mylar, so we can get that signed, and it can be signed by the board and then go to the registry of deeds.
Okay.
Okay?
Now, do I come back here to get that, or
Well, if you did this for you,
Brian Crawford?
okay, so he should provide it. You can
Oh,
contact
okay.
him and tell him we need the Mylar, and we'll get that
Okay.
signed by the chair, and then it goes to the registry of deeds, and it gets
Very
recorded,
good.
okay?
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Good to see you, Bob.
You too, James. Take care.
You too.
Okay, Bob, see you later.
Thank you.
You're welcome, have a good day.
Good to see you too, Tom.
Yep.
I haven't seen him for that.
Yeah, you used to see a lot of them.
I know, I used to see him every day.
Yeah, yeah.
The joys of small town land. All right, the next two are driveway permits. One is
One you've seen a couple times.
Yep.
They finally submitted a
Mr.
plan.
They finally submitted a plan.
Right.
And it is a good one. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, I'm
okay,
good.
I don't,
You don't?
no,
Okay.
I'll take your word for it.
That's all right. It's right here.
Okay.
It's not a problem.
Oh, yeah, it is a good one. I can even see it.
Even got the utility pole on there.
Mm.
All right. You got to remove and replace the culvert. Any questions, comments?
Nope, it answered all the questions that we've had, which driveway it was for.
Any comment? I'll open to the public. Any comments from the public?
Take mine.
No.
You got it?
Fred's gonna get it, maybe. All right, I'll make a motion to accept it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Moving right along.
The other one is Noise Road.
69 Royce Road.
Everybody know where North Road is?
Yes.
I believe so. Where's my for that?
On the right.
Okay.
Down,
Across from U-Haul.
Okay.
And this is a little different. They're not doing anything by the road. They're just expanding it. They're just expanding it back a little bit. They're going from 5 feet to 7 feet.
Okay, just making it a little bit
In
worse.
5
depth.
feet, 7 inches
No,
back.
it's not.
I visited
It's in
this
depth,
this
it's
site
not in
over the
width.
weekend,
Oh, okay.
and they've got their work cut out for them. But there's no reason why we shouldn't approve it,
It's not even on the road.
No.
It's not even on the road.
so.
And Kevin signed it.
Yeah.
He did take a look at it as well.
We have a 12-foot high wall there.
All right, I'll make a motion to accept it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? While we're on that, I have a question. Leanne, is there any reason that Kevin can't approve these? They have to come to the planning board?
That is the he can approve them if you so grant him the authority. So maybe the next meeting, we can put on for discussion
Yes,
to
let's discuss it,
vote
because
to-
at one time, he did it, okay? And quite frankly, he knows more about driveways than I do, and I think anybody maybe on the planning board, or as much as anybody does.
we can put on as a discussion item to
Okay.
discuss
Well,
authorizing the director of
Okay.
DPW to sign off on these. And maybe anything he finds in question, maybe that'll be the,
Well, that's how we used to do it, it worked out very well. It saves us time, it saves the person time, and probably saves money, doesn't it?
It also allows for a quicker turnaround too.
Okay. Next thing we have, and I think, did you give everybody a copy of this?
I have him here.
All right, let me just introduce this. This is.
Did we approve the driveway permit?
Yep, I thought we
Okay.
did.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, you did the driveway permit.
Yeah.
That's for you.
Oh, that's me?
You can have that. Here's one for Fred.
As you remember, who Preserve came in for a conceptual. And what the decision we have to make is whether or not it will be
A development.
a
of region.
development of regional impact or not.
Okay.
You have a package in front of you, and I'll give you just a little bit of information. I've been through 2 of these in my lifetime, or since I've been on the planning board. And you can see in front of you, there's an RSA involving regional impact. And there's 6 requirements for it to involve regional impact. You can read as well as I can to see what the 6 are. It's up to us to decide. The only one here that I personally see that could even be questionable is number 5. But we're talking 250 feet from the lake. So I don't really even see where that applies. We're not talking right on the lake. And I'm inclined to think that it's not of regional impact.
One part of
But I
that.
would be interested in hearing other people's opinions.
This is
Because
for
we
the
have to
hotel,
vote.
right? For the hotel. Did any of the other hotels
There
that
are
came
no,
in?
there are no dwellings.
Yeah.
It's really, Lean,
It's
you mind going and pointing out again where it is and we can see?
Yeah, so this is located where the old Anchorage was. There's been a traffic study. The traffic study shows a 1% in some case, 2% in the peak period increase. The traffic doesn't seem to be significantly increasing. It's a 114-room hotel. So there is a traffic study that you'll see when you get they have submitted a site plan review, which you will have before you at the next meeting, which is the 27th. If you decide it's regional impact, then you notice the surrounding towns as well as Lakes Regional Planning, and then they can come and weigh in on the project. In order to find regional impact, it has to be one of these items, has to either affect the neighborhood, be again, you can read as well as I. Usually it's if a subdivision is going to impact a school district, if you have a regional school district, proximity to the border. I can point out here, I think maybe that's what you meant, Jane, I'm sorry.
That's what I meant, Leanne.
So the project is, I believe it's like somewhere right around here is where this,
Yep.
right, here's Winnisquam Shores, Anchorage is right about here somewhere, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Somewhere in this vicinity. So, you know, you got Stamberton, but, you know,
They're far
it's
away.
not.
Yeah, but there's a road between Tilton and Sandwichton there.
Right, then you've got Belmont, which is across, you know, Mosquito Bridge, and then of course Belmont across the lake, pretty wide part of the lake. It's your call if it's regional impact.
How tall is the building, Rose?
Building's
How
gonna be.
tall is it? 54 feet.
That's not us, that's zoning, and
No,
they,
yeah.
and zoning
So-
did say it was regional impact, and we
Right.
had, I went to the meeting, it was at the police station, we were there too.
Yes, I was.
So when it went before the zoning board, they did find it a regional impact because of the height facing Belmont. And on that criteria, they found because it was across the water and the height, so they did regional impact this, you can look at it, now you look at it from a planning standpoint, what you're looking at for planning, so you do your own criteria. It's not necessarily regional impact because they decided it.
Yeah.
You decide on your own criteria.
Well, please inform me now, they said it was a regional impact, but they granted a variance, didn't they?
Yeah, regional impact,
that's
all
what they
regional
do.
impact means is that they have the right to come to your town and speak about their concerns.
Oh.
It's not, regional impact doesn't mean they have to meet any higher bar.
Gotcha.
It just, you as a town are saying, this affects your town and we need to notify you so you have input. Like, an example is, I believe there was a case that actually went to court, I think, on Casella over in Belmont, because they did not find any regional impact in the abutting town.
That's one of the ones I was involved in.
Right, so that became an issue. You know, like if a UPS, we'll say UPS or Amazon was going to that site and there were gonna be tractor trailers running through from exit 20. And we'll say there was here's a good example. If Belmont was building an Amazon distribution center across Mosquito Bridge and the trucks were gonna go from Amazon through Tilton to get on at exit 20, that would definitely impact Tilton, even though it's being built in Belmont. So Belmont would be really required as regional impact to say, we need to notify Tilton that they're gonna have, 5,000 Amazon trucks a day going down through their town to get on at exit 20. Or a subdivision that's so large and it's gonna affect a regional school district. Those are the type of things that regional impact, utilities, cell tower, that type of thing. And I'm not steering you either way, whether you find this or not. This is up to the board, whether they feel it's regional impact.
Did any of the other hotels have to go for regional impacts? Or?
Not that I've never owned two.
Probably the newest one would be the Hampton Inn.
And then the Holiday Inn too. I think I was around when that came, but it was not regional impact.
Okay.
I talked with Chuck Mitchell today for the conservation.
They're going before conservation on
Yeah,
Monday.
and he said they were coming before conservation. And it's like he said, it's a well thought out project.
Exactly.
And, all of us would probably like to see it preserved, the whole thing preserved, but, is it gonna be good for the town? Probably it's gonna be good for the town. I think it is, but that's just my own personal opinion. I'm sure there are others that don't think. But I think I personally think it's a very good use of that property. When we look at the other things we've had, if you will think back with me, and I think both of you have been on the board, they were gonna have campers in there.
I wasn't here.
Oh, yeah.
Then they were gonna have $6 million houses or some ungodly priced houses. And then they were gonna have, I think, boat storage or something, weren't they, at one thing? I don't know. This to me seems like a good use and getting the best bang for the buck for the area. I think it puts us in a position to be a destination.
Yep.
As opposed to a town where people just go through and don't stop and, well, seriously, that's what happens now.
Absolutely.
We're the gateway to the Lakes region.
Absolutely.
But that's all we are. They just
Yeah.
go right through town and flip on
Absolutely.
up. This would make us somewhat of a destination.
Jane, if I could just make a suggestion that maybe for the record, in case anyone does question, like Belmont Town questions why they was not regional impact, maybe you just read through each of the 6 criteria and say that you do or do not
Well,
feel
we'll
this.
discuss each of them. I think that's a good
Yeah,
idea.
yeah,
Okay.
and then for the record,
Okay,
that was
this
addressed.
is for the record, and this is taken from RSA 36:55. It lists the following 6 factors that may be expected to impact neighboring municipalities, any one of which could result in a DRI determination. And that's a development of regional impact. I had to stop and think for a minute. Even though I just read it. Number 1, relative size or number of dwelling units is compared with existing stock. There are no dwelling units. Okay. Number 2, proximity to the borders of a neighboring community.
Well, I think that could be an issue with Belmont and Sanderson.
It is
They're
close.
right there.
Yeah.
It's-
Well, how many, there's a road between Samberton and the project.
It's more
Route
Belmont.
3
that would
goes
have-
right through it.
Yeah, it'd be more Belmont because it's
Yeah.
on the direct road right through Belmont.
Which is across the lake. And how wide is the lake, do you know?
I mean, I can get it for you while you continue. I can get you the distances.
It's too far to swim.
Yeah, too bad, yeah.
And does it give any kind of defining criteria for the proximity? Defining what the proximity should be.
I know when they were at the zoning board, if I can recall, their concern was all the speed boats and things that would be on the lake. Well, they're not gonna be any speed boats. They're not gonna allow that.
That doesn't come under us, does it?
No,
No.
They can't.
and it's not a part of the hotel's plan.
Oh, yeah.
If you have a boat and you wanna come and have dinner there, you can bring your boat there. They'll have a dock where you can
Right.
dock. But
Yeah.
that's it. They're not gonna rent boats. They're not gonna
Yeah.
have people. They're not gonna make them available. It's not gonna be a marina.
Right.
Well, while she's looking that up, with transportation networks, they're gonna have 114 rooms.
Mhm.
At the most, it would be 114 cars, but she said it was only 1%.
1 to 2%.
And if you will recall, they're building a turn lane.
Oh, good.
Okay,
That's
so
awesome.
that will relieve any stopping while people turn into it. Anticipated emissions such as light, noise, smoke, odors, or particles.
No.
None. Proximity to aquifers or surface water, which transcends municipal boundaries, 250 feet away. I think that
What is our,
is
is 100 feet away for the rigs?
shared facilities such as schools, solid waste disposal. No, not in there. So the only one that would be questionable would be the proximity to the border. So let's wait and see.
Yeah, I
So it
agree.
actually is located here, not as close.
Oh,
Oh,
Where this
okay.
tip is?
Yeah.
It's actually located here. So it's 3/4 of a mile, just under a mile to Samberton. And the closest point is 0.6 miles to the side to a mile, 1 mile to 2, across the lake.
Hmm.
I didn't do feet, I did miles.
How do you guys feel about it?
I'm sorry.
I asked them how they felt about it.
Is there any definition defining the proximity at all? I'm okay with it not being.
Oh,
Well,
And also you have to determine, and because of the proximity, how would they be affected? Right?
Yeah.
So you're looking
Yeah.
at what they would have a concern about, right?
if conceptual, there was some people, or the zoning,
zoning board.
the people from across the lake were concerned about lighting, at night. I don't know if that
It's gonna be downcast
comes
lighting.
under, yeah, I don't know if that comes under,
It does.
Section 2,
It comes under the planning board.
Yeah, well,
But that's
obvious.
something we would address in the,
But wouldn't that
Site
be more
plan.
like number 4, such as anticipated emissions such as light,
No,
noise?
that's not.
well, it really would be.
All the lights have to be
I
downcast.
just think that those people that were there have a right to, to say something. If they do so.
I agree.
I agree with that too.
Yeah.
So you wanna say regional impact? And if that's the case, we need to hold it at the police station. right?
We're holding at the police station anyway.
Okay.
So
But we gotta get notices out to Lake Regional Planning Commission and all the abutting towns, not just Belmont. It goes to everybody if it's regional.
So we'll vote on, how many think it's a regional impact?
I do.
I don't.
I don't either.
Okay.
So 2 against and 1 for.
Do we have to have a quorum though? Or-
We
You have
four.
one.
Oh, okay. I thought it was 4 for quorum. Sorry.
Now, that doesn't mean that the towns can't come,
Oh, anybody can come, it's public.
yeah, if they want to.
Okay.
Okay, and they are going to the Conservation Commission.
On Monday.
Yeah.
And they'll be before you on the 27th.
So anybody who wants to, I'm
It'll be
gonna,
in the newspaper, it's gonna all be,
yeah, oh yeah, it's always posted in the newspaper.
and it will be at the
I
police
think
station.
I will try to go to the Conservation Commission. I can't promise, I don't know if one day the next where I'm gonna be, but I will try to go there on Monday. All right, so our next order of business is minutes. Everybody get a copy?
I did.
Everybody have a chance to review them?
Pardon me.
Any comments, changes?
Pardon me.
No?
Excuse me. I'm sorry.
That's okay. All right, I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as written.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting of September 13th, 2022.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, see you maybe Monday at Conservation?
This is
Maybe
Jane
not.
can sign.
Sure.
That's the medical dialysis center.
Oh,
They finally
are they gonna
met,
start?
they finally met all their conditions
Oh,
this
good.
week. They were just waiting for the performance bond, but they're gonna start. We're gonna have a pre-construction meeting on the 27th. And they should start building after that. It should be pretty.
Just board member?
I don't know why they put that. It's the stamp that he put on, yeah.
Hmm.
You can sign it as chair, sign and then put chair.
That's a big, I was wondering, I went by there, because I'm really interested to see what they do with that lot. Okay, can we turn?
You adjourn? I didn't-
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry, we did that in your absence. I have to show you why.